Hello everyone. So today we are going to solve this LeetCode problem, which is binary gap. So let's see what this problem says. It says we have been given a positive integer n and we have to return the longest distance between any two adjacent one in the binary representation of n. And if there are no two adjacent one, then we have to return 0. Okay, for example, 22, the binary representation of 22 is 1 0 1 1 0. So these two are adjacent one, the gap between them is 1. These two are adjacent one, the gap between them are 2. So the longest gap between any two ones is 2. Okay, so that's what we have to check. So we can easily solve this. Let's see how we'll code it. So what we have been given that integer n. Okay, now first what we can check, we can see where our first uh, 1 is present, because we'll ignore the trailing zeros in the binary representation. Okay, suppose here this was the binary representation, so the zeros which are on the left side of the number, we'll ignore them. We'll start from the first one when we encounter the first one bit, and if n is 1, then we'll return 0 simply. Okay, now we'll take a variable to store the maximum gap between any two adjacent, and another variable to store the current gap between any two adjacent one. Now we'll run a while loop which will do what? If we'll check if the bit is 1, then we'll update our maximum gap with the we'll update our maximum gap with the max of maximum gap and current gap. Okay, and reinitialize our gap as 0. If it is not 1, it is 0, then what we'll do, we'll increase the count of our gap. Okay, so this is a simple approach, and what we'll do, we'll update the bit by bit to check the all the bits. That's what we are doing here, and simply we'll return the max gap plus 1, because if the gap was 1 here, we have to return 2. If the gap is 0, we have to return 1. Okay, so ideally here there is no gap of the bits, but the gap here is 1. Okay, here it is 1 gap, but the gap here is 2 ideally according to our quotient. So that's why we will do this plus 1, and that's it. So this was a very easy problem. If you have any doubt or any suggestions, just put it in the comment section, and keep learning, keep growing. Bye bye.